Hello everyone, I'm Alison with Continental Bead Suppliers. Thank you so much for joining me today. Talia is a stunning Y-style necklace. A sparkling strand of crystal cascades from the upper teardrop charm pendant, terminating at the lower teardrop. Mixing different styles of chain create an unparalleled visual texture. Talia is a versatile casual or dress-up accessory. You choose. Let's begin. For Talia Necklace, we'll be using 2 Teardrop Charm Pendants. The part number is K129. 6 inches of the diamond specialty chain divided into 2 lengths of 7 links. The part number is CH-925. 1 foot of the double link cable chain divided into 2 6-inch lengths. The part number is CH-885. 8 21 gauge 4mm jump rings. The part number is JR4. 1 9x5mm lobster clasp. The part number is C901. 7 8mm crystal beads. You can adjust the length of the component piece that we'll be making by adding or subtracting beads or using a different size of bead even, so the choice is up to you, but for here I'm using 8mm. About 2 feet of 24 gauge brass wire, and we're going to cut this into about 2.5 inch lengths. I always find it a little easier to work with longer wire lengths than I actually need. 2 pairs of flat nose pliers, 1 pair of chain nose pliers, 1 pair of round nose pliers, and a flush cutter. We're going to begin by creating some wrapped loops for these briolette beads that I have here, and we're going to connect them together using a wrapped loop. If you're not comfortable with that, you can always connect them using jump rings. You just have to add more to the supply list. But let's begin. So I'm going to take one of the pieces of wire that I've already cut. This one's a little bit longer. Find the midpoint with your thumb and index finger. Take your chain nose pliers just at where your thumb and finger are. Push the wire back to form a 90-degree angle. Take the round nose pliers. And you see I already have marks on my plier from a previous project. I'm actually just going to go about halfway between the mark and the tip of the plier there. So that's about almost 1/4 inch, I would say. So up over the top until the wire touches the bead that's not there. Open the plier jaw, turn 1/4 turn and close it back up. The wire goes to the back. Now I like to take the plier out here to form my wrap loop. So I just take the chain nose pliers and go across the loop, and then use my round nose pliers to wrap the short tail around the long tail. And I'm going to do 3 wraps. So 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm not going to cut this off just yet, so I'll just keep that there. I'm going to thread on the first bead and create my next wrap loop. So with these chain nose pliers, I'm going to be right at the tip of the plier, so you can see that it's just in there. Let me see if I can get a little closer for you. So you see it's just at the very tip and resting on the bead. Let's go back again. Push the wire away to the 90-degree angle again. Swap up to the round nose pliers. So again in that midpoint there. Up over the top until the wire touches the bead. Take the wire to the back, pull it nice and snug. And again, I'm going to go across this loop with my chain nose pliers. And I'm going to wrap this tail 3 times around the shank that's exposed. So 1, 2, and 3. So by where I had the wire in the pliers, it's really been quite precise about having the 3 wraps on either side, like that. You can see that the bead is not moving. So let's trim that off. And we can trim off this other end. The reason why I left this original end on here was if I wanted to do a half wrap or a quarter wrap, just to make sure that everything was even. I have that opportunity. So let's trim that one. I'm just going to make sure that the little tail, there's no spring back from the little tail, so it's not going to get caught on anything. So that's the first one done. So for the next one, again, we're going to take another wire, find the midpoint. The chain nose plier goes just above my finger and thumb here. Push the wire back and create the loop again. So again, I'm positioned at the same point in the plier, about midpoint between the mark I have for another project and this one. Up over the top until the wire touches the bead. Quarter turn the plier and send the wire back. But this time you're not going to wrap this. We are going to take the plier out, and I'm going to slip the short tail through one of the wrap loops I've already made. You see that just slides in there. So the way that I tend to do this, I'll take my chain nose pliers again, and I'm going to sit just going over the loop that I made there, and I'm going to do 3 wraps again. So 1, 2, and 3. I'll add on the next bead. Move that all the way down. Take my chain nose pliers once again. Very tip of the wire, the very tip of the pliers, and sitting right on the bead. Push the wire away. Take that away. Find my measurement again. Up over the top until the wire touches the bead. Quarter turn the pliers. All the way back, and this one we will finish. So let's wrap this around. So 3 wraps again. See how accurate my measurements were. 1, 2, 3. And it looks like we're spot on again. So there's no movement up and down with the bead. I'm going to trim these 2 tails off. Do this other one. Once again, just tweak in any of the little spring back that was there. And then we're ready to create the next one. I'm going to put this back onto the little bit further away. So we've got 2 elements made there. I'll start off this next one for you. So again, another piece of wire, find the midpoint of the 2.5 inches, chain nose pliers, push the wire away, swap up to the round nose pliers, up over the top until the wire touches the bead that isn't there, quarter turn the pliers, take the short tail all the way back, take the plier out. So we're not fastening this off just yet. We're going to thread this in through the next little wrap loop that we previously made. That's going to sit there like that. chain nose pliers over the wrapped loop that we're making. So you're not going into the loop, it's always going over it. And then we're going to use the round nose pliers once again. So 3 wraps. And again, don't chop off this little tail here yet. You can see how nicely it's all coming together. Add the next bead on. Once again, the tip of the pliers goes over the wire and the pliers are always resting on the bead. Push the wire away, so you've got your 90-degree angle. Swap up to the round, up over the top. And this one I'll finish off. So once again, 3 wraps. 1, 2, 3. There's a little bit of movement in this one, you can perhaps see. So what I like to do, just because it's the attention to detail really, I'm just going to turn this around. Just go across this wrap loop here and perhaps do a half turn here just to tighten up what's going on. So I'm not going all the way around, and I'll check. And you can see that that's tightened everything up. And the wraps on each end still look nice and even. So we'll trim this off. Once again, tuck in any spring back that was there. So I'll continue on, finish up these pieces, and then I'll come back. Here you can see we've got the beautiful strand of crystal briolettes finished here. So the next thing to do is to attach one of these teardrops onto one of these ends. So I'll take one of the 4mm jump rings with my flat nose pliers. I'm going to open this up. Slip this through the ring, onto the ring, and put the teardrop on the end, and then close that up. And then we'll attach the other teardrop onto this end. So another 4mm ring. We'll slip this on and attach the other Teardrop Charm Pendant on this end. Close that up nicely. And because I'm always making things upside down or not as you would expect to find them, this is how this is going to be sitting. And the chain is going to start coming off from some of the little holes that are in the decorative part of the Teardrop Charm Pendant. So I'm going to open another jump ring. I don't know if you can see, let's see if we can go further forward here. So you can see on this one, this hole here and this hole opposite. So they're just either side of the midpoint. They're going to be the ones that we're going to be using the jump rings in to attach onto the diamond specialty chain. So let's pop this first bit through here. So it's the large hole and a little hole from the chain, and close this up. And I'll just put this back to the regular screen and we'll do the other side. So it's sitting there nicely like that. So another jump ring. This goes together so quickly. Just really the wrap loops are what take the time, but they're well worth it. So just a little hole from the end of the chain here. Close that up. Make sure that's nice and flush. So we've got it kind of sitting like this right now. Next piece is we're going to put the double link cable on either end like this. So another jump ring. Through the little hole on the end of the chain and through both of the links for the double link cable. These are all such pretty chains, I just love them. So that's connected there. And this little 4mm ring is really quite a nice transition. You could probably do it with a 3mm, but I think the 4 works quite nicely with everything. So another jump ring on this side. Here, and again remember to make sure you catch both the links for that connection. Then we're going to take another ring. I had a few, I guess I miscounted and have a few left over. Onto one end. There's no front or back to this piece, so don't be too concerned about that. Catch the double links here and the lobster clasp. Like that. And then on this other end, we'll put the last jump ring. And then we can connect this up. And here we have Talia Necklace. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please give us a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, we do love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.